Dreams, I walk free in the city and they gag you. You don't get to speak, and when you get the leak, they try to hit delete. The masters of the masses, they want the shit discreet. That's why my middle finger's up to these sick elites. Free speech, it's the freedom of press. Take your deepest, darkest secrets, never leave them unsaid. If I'm a thief, then I'm a thief for the people you dread. The people of the red, white and blue, you keep them in bed. Seeing the sheep, keep them asleep, deceiving the weak. Keep taking the leaks till you cease, and I see your defeat until I'm deceased underneath a freezing red sheet. Become a dead man, then I hit the switch and release. When Goldman Sachs is your creditor, you kill the messenger. Stories axed by the editor, you kill the messenger. Pay to play on the regular, you kill the messenger. Need to silence any questioners, you kill the messenger. And outside my window a figure quickly creeps. They dark as night like some motherfucking chimney sweeps. Whiskey what my Mickey keeps, dying in my kidneys weak. Silence of my risky tweets is what the grand jury seeks. I'm wanting peace like 7 years in Tibet. Now rest in peace like 7 years under threat. Cause I've released 7 vaults, they upset. They under the rape sentence, but the US still insists to rest. I guess it's a sin to take the truth and disseminate. MLK to Gandhi, take aim and eliminate. And I don't say I'm great, just wanna say what's fake. But if they kill me, a million others will take my place. The CIA's post like a knife the sharpest. All hypocrisy, lies, and heartless. They want to stop me, my life make my heart quit. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. When Goldman Sachs is your creditor, you kill the messenger. Stories axed by the editor, you kill the messenger. Pay to play on the regular, you kill the messenger. Need to silence any questioners, you kill the messenger. When the vote count is irregular, you kill the messenger. You caught spying on a senator, you kill the In my dreams, I walk free in the city streets. 2,500 days plus 50 weeks. Doing hard time for these WikiLeaks. Trying to bring the truth out, man, it only gets you weak. And then they gag you, you don't get to speak. And when you get the leak, they try to hit the leak. The masters of the masses, they want the shit discreet. That's why my middle finger's up to these sick elites. Playing on a regular. You kill the messenger. Free speech is the freedom of press. Take your deepest, darkest secrets, never leave them unsaid. If I'm a thief, then I'm a thief for the people you dread. The people want the red, while the blue, you keep them in bed. Seeking the sheep, keep them asleep, deceiving the weak. Keep seeking the leech till you cease, and I see your defeat. Until I'm deceased underneath a fleece of red sheep. Become a dead man, then I hit the switch and release. Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs is your creditor. And outside my window a figure quickly creeps. They dark as night like some motherfucking chimney sweeps. Whiskey what my Mickey keeps, dying in my kidneys weak. Silence of my risky tweets is what the grand jury seeks. I'm wanting peace like 7 years in Tibet. Now rest in peace like 7 years under threat. Cause I've released 7 vaults, they upset. They ended the rape sentence, but the US still insists to rest. I guess it's a sin to take the truth and disseminate. And okay to Gandhi, take him and eliminate. And I don't say I'm great, just wanna say what's fake. But if they kill me, a million others will take my place. The CIA's post like a knife the sharpest. All hypocrisy, lies, and heartless. They want to stop me, my life make my heart quit. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. You kill the messenger. You kill the messenger. Democracy dies in the darkness. Darkness.
Feeling cold now, but got the heater on. Feeling sold out, even though I'm keeping strong. But can I hold out when every bit of freedom's gone? They want me rolled out, never to sing freedom song. I wanna see the sky, I wanna feel the rain, but gotta keep away from windows, that's some window pane. It's just a shame, couldn't have planned out all our dreams. Now I'd scream, cause there's a man in the machine. But the train is off the tracks, and damn it's losing steam. I wanna call Christine, I haven't seen since 013. I'm missing life like 3 strikes each night. Seems like 3 nights ain't right. Can't fight, space light, hate life. Wanting to be snake-like, shedding off this gray life. In the dark can't make light, but where I'm headed now is brake lights. Where I'm headed now they break lights. Counting days like brake lights, feeling weight like brake lights. Had a great life, brake lights, brake lights, brake lights. Out of place like brake lights, in my face like brake lights. Counting days like brake lights, brake lights, brake lights. Sit here asking, what have I done? If these strings were cut, I'd see my son. And if I could just fly from this place, then I'd hold you in my love embrace. And if I could just speak to you now, I'd renew my vow and be in the now. Is this me in denial? Wanna remove stress from your brow and pay you back some way somehow, but it's painted black, can see the way back now. But how's the house and how's your mom? I doubt the way the media portrays me makes you hate me, but to think you see that daily makes me crazy. That just ain't me.
This is without a doubt going to be this generation's Free Mandela movement. Every single generation must fight again the same battles that previous generations have fought.
Brake lights, counting days like brake lights, 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 brake lights.
walk my way with your pepper spray. All I can do is watch your hips sway. So come on now, police woman in your blue uniform, let me turn you on. Arrest me, arrest me, arrest me. Police woman, don't you know that I will turn you on with your own baton? I will turn you on with your handcuffs on. Come on, police woman in your blue uniform, let me turn you on. When you walk my way, all I can do is watch your hips sway. When you walk my way, police woman.
Please talk. Can someone talk to me? Can someone actually tell me where the US Embassy staff are? No, they're not answering. So the British High Commission are not answering the door to 2 British citizens wanting to ask questions. Pretty shoddy. And it's raining now. 3rd venue today.
And the Swedish episode was just a bogus red herring. The US Constitution protects publishers and journalists. This crime was just to have broken the silence. It provided, shown that we're complicit by failing to speak out against illegal wars and the attacks on this journalist who's actually provided the real truth and the deceit of Western governments. There's no investigative journalism in our lifetime whose equal importance in terms of information he has provided through WikiLeaks. He's called rapacious power to account. He's shown that our governments are supporting 70% of the military, including Saudi Arabia, which has an appalling record in terms of human rights and the treatment of women. It also is attacking on behalf of United States Yemen, and we know that millions of people are at threat now in Yemen of starvation because they're closing the last port there, which is providing the humanitarian aid. At the same time, the drone execution that we don't really hear of innocent people all through the Middle East and any part of the world. Malcolm Turnbull can remain silent, or he can seize this opportunity and use his government's diplomatic influence to defend the life of an Australian citizen, a really top Australian citizen whose courageous public service is recognised by countless people across the world. He can bring Julian Assange home, and that's what we ask him to do right now.
Thank you. Right, we're gonna take it away now. Bye-bye beehive until the next time. This will be where we come for emergency action. There's been a few people walking past today, taking an interest, which is great. It's just what we want. Some people are like, who's Julian? That astounds me really, but anyway. Some people are like, we're with her, and I think those people really need to do some more investigation. But anyway, here we are. Free speech, freedom of press. Not 1984 if we can help it.
Hey everyone, welcome to the second Wiki-bees session of the Unity for J movement. My name is Susie Dawson. I'm a journalist and activist and the current president of the Internet Party of New Zealand. Hopefully you guys got a chance to check out the playback of our stream from yesterday, our first Wiki-bees session. We had over 33,000 viewers on that stream and some ridiculous amount of floating hearts all over the place, which was really, really cool to see. I took the time to watch the playback today so that I could fix my spreadsheet issues and make sure that I was up to date for the start of this stream. And it was just a remarkable turnout. So congratulations on such a successful first Wiki-bees session yesterday. And we're just going to continue today from where we left off. I have with me here tonight Bruce and Christian and David S. and Joe and Mackenzie and Evan. And there'll be some other of our team leads joining us a little bit later on. But for now, I think it being the first week and us really, I think we only gave like 24 or 48 hours notice of the schedule for these Wiki-bees sessions. I really appreciate it if you guys would go and tweet and post on all the various platforms and give people the stream link and tell them to get in here, because today we will finish mapping the movement and we'll start putting together our task lists and start to make this a lot more interactive, this exercise. So please go and post to #Unity4J and #Wiki-bees and in every location you can think of, and let people know that we are here. By the way, could you please let me know if you can hear me okay? That would be really helpful as well to make sure that my mic is actually coming through all right. So I'm going to screen share and start talking through. Actually, Joe, could you please pass me the Restream chat link?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you. If you could message that to me, that would be very helpful. Cool. Thank you, Evan, for letting me know that. Apparently you guys can hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share and just do a really fast recap of what we got up to yesterday and then start moving on through it. So This is the spreadsheet that we started yesterday to assess really all the different moving parts of the Unity for J movement to free Julian, and to evaluate how happy we are with those parts, how well they're functioning, and to really isolate what needs more attention from us. So we evaluated our Twitter account. We were very, very happy with that. You see in this column here, or in these columns here, we have some notes about things we can do better or things we need to focus on and pay more attention to. We'll release a copy of this spreadsheet once we finish it, and then we'll begin working on our task list collaboratively in collaborative documents live online. So Twitter we're happy with, Facebook we're totally happy with, Steemit we're very happy with, Reddit needs more mods and more transition of content from our all platforms, which is our little pool of official movement media on a Discord server, to the Reddit, basically more posts on the Reddit. YouTube, we had 194 videos already uploaded, which is just phenomenal, but we feel that we need to do better at marketing that content. Tumblr we don't yet have a Tumblr account, but we want one, which is why that's a big red, because nothing has been done yet on the Tumblr account.
Overnight, we have a Tumblr account.
Oh, really?
Yes. One of our
awesome.
people was taken up.
Fantastic. That's really, really, really good to hear. Because, we had a chat yesterday and we talked through how much content we have ready to go. So I'll move that from red to orange. So we have an account and we have mods, and we will just need to upload historical content from all platforms. I can't type properly at 3:30 in the morning. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we looked at our Google Plus, and our Google Plus was excellent, but it's 7 weeks old now. So it needs to be updated pretty urgently. Our Gab account is phenomenal. There's actually mountains of up-to-date content on there. It's been really well looked after. Pinterest, we discussed that we have a massive, very comprehensive Pinterest launch happening next week with all kinds of resources that have been assembled there for everyone. It's going to be a really fantastic thing. And we'll be delivering that at the next State of the Movement address sometime next week. Instagram needs updates urgently. It exists, our Instagram account exists, but it only had some really small amount of images on it, and yet we have hundreds of images from our movement. So we urgently need some Instagram mods to put their hands up to develop our account and our following on Instagram. We had a look through the graphics team work, and that's just top-notch, phenomenal work. So they're definitely green. The video team, same deal. Like I said, we have 194 videos uploaded. They've been doing amazing work. We did talk about wanting to create some more custom short videos for Twitter, specifically for tweeting out. We looked at our SoundCloud account from our music team. That also is really, really cool. An amazing job has been done there. And we discussed maybe looking into the radio station option and having Unity for J content playing 24/7 available. Okay, and then we talked to Mackenzie, who is with us again tonight. We talked to her. Hey, we talked to her about the communications team, and that's about the point that my computer decided it was not going to handle me very competently operating a spreadsheet. So I seem to have fixed that today, though, so we're going to go through this really briefly again. So we decided that we're very, very happy with the press releases. They are consistent in appearance and format. They are professionally prepared. So a big green for our press releases. What we need to do is more work on getting them published. So Joe also took us through and showed us the increasing amount of hits on our press releases. So people are going and reading them on our site, but we need to actually get media to pick up and to convert those releases into actual news articles, be it independent or and alternate sources or mainstream. So then the outreach. We have had a lot of work done on outreach, but it has currently stalled. And we have huge lists of, we have outreach a fantastic outreach letter that has been put together, really comprehensive. A lot of work went into it. And we've got these massive lists that the research team has generated of all the leads of all these organizations around the world. But we need to work out who has been emailed and who hasn't, and what our CRM solution is going to be so that we can manage the responses that we get from those organizations. So we need a CRM solution. We need to transparently, or just to track, we need to track communications, outreach communications. And we probably need a new, Joe, do we actually have someone assigned to oversee this part presently?
Certainly, Kitty stepped up and said she's keen.
Oh, she did say, okay,
fantastic.
fantastic.
So I need to sit down with her at some stage and make that happen.
Okay, she'll be brilliant.
That would be awesome if we can get that moving again. And certainly once someone's across it, then more people can grow from there.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me, because she's like, as research lead, she's already worked with the list. Yeah. She knows who's on it. She understands fully what we're doing, and she's super professional and really reliable. So that's great. So I'm going to give it a yellow, because so much work has been done on it. It won't take much to get it going and get the job finished. And Kitty being on the case is really, really great. Okay, research team, I'm going to give a green, because they have clocked every single task we've ever given them, and to a really, really high standard. They're also one of the most populous teams in the movement in terms of numbers of team members. Now, I did want to ask Kitty what she felt that team might need more focus on or more help with. But I don't think she's with us yet. Let me just check my messages really quick. Hopefully she'll be coming along soon. I'm not sure where she is right now.
There was some discussion on late nights, early mornings or something. I'm not 100% sure of the time zones around the world, but yeah. Yeah,
she's in Canada. Yeah. Okay, that's all right. We can. She'll be with us again many times, so we can go back and fill that in at a later date. But right now, the research team has been functioning extremely well, so I'm happy to move on. So then we have the awards team. So hopefully you guys would have seen tweets going out. What are they? They're awards for Jay, I'm pretty sure. Here we go. So this is the product of they've already got 400 followers, which is pretty good. So they had been working on nominating Julian for the Walkley Award, which is an Australian journalism prize. But now the current campaign is they're working on getting Julian Assange a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. So September 13, so they're now 2 weeks out of date. So we need to touch base with the extremely awesome Go for the People and the awards team, which is under communications in the Discord. Just saying, hey, Go for the People, we're discussing the awards team live on Wiki-bees right now. Are you available to check in with us? Unity for shay.com/stream. I hope you guys are circulating the stream link and letting people know we're here. Pretty please. Okay, so I'll wait to hear back from him, but based on what I've seen so far personally, I would give that a yellow. It's an extremely good initiative. A lot of work's been done on it. They've already got a decent following for it, but it is out of date. So I would say needs to be updated. Right. So also in the communications team, we have the legal channel. Now, I think personally the legal channels are really amazing. I know there's a lot of legal, we call them legal beagles is the name of the role on the Discord. Basically, it's anybody who has any kind of experience in the legal profession or who knows what they're talking about on legal issues that are related to Julian's situation. And I think it has been, let me have a look. I know it's actually one of the most active channels on our Discord. So they tend to just share a lot of information and strategize. They've got some case law. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. So they have like some case law for consideration there. They're sharing PDFs of rulings on Assange's cases and analyzing them, talking about the various courts involved and whatnot. It's pretty cool actually what they're doing here. So I think I would give this a green. I don't think there's anything outstanding that I know of, and they seem to have a pretty cohesive channel going. So I think for legal, for now, we can put green. And again, same as with Kitty, like once I actually have some of the people from the legal team on hand, then I'll ask them what improvements they can think of, and we will add them into the notes. Now, interfaith solidarity is a really interesting one. It's a channel that is there and that people like, but that doesn't seem to have an organizing focus. I see they are sharing some scripture there. But the idea of this channel is that everybody from all different denominations can talk together. Oh, that's cool. I see Joe shared some stuff from Father Dave. Yeah, I think what this channel needs is some focus. What this team needs is some focus, some actual ideas about what they can do going forward together. So I feel like they need focus, vision, and direction. Am I onto something there, Joe? Joe?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, struggling with.
I know you're a part of that channel. That's why I'm putting you on the spot.
No. I was just trying to get the stream window actually working better, and I lost my connection. So I was a bit distracted. But yes, certainly interface solidarity is awesome. There's a few people in there sharing, but yeah, I think personally I found it difficult to sort of engage some of my faithful counterparts in the offline world with the thing, and I think there's a lot of good stuff out there, but maybe we do need some sharp, snappy content that we can share in this sort of faith circles. Intriguingly, I noticed one of the comments in the chat earlier, something about our pre-roll videos. Someone said would be offensive to a Christian. I must admit I don't usually watch them with the audio on, but I'm not sure what that was about. But certainly, if there are aspects of the movement that trip people up from a faith perspective, then certainly that's what the interfaith solidarity group's there to try and work through and make it happen. So yeah, I'm in there. There's probably 20 or 30 of us. So yeah, come and join us and make yourself heard. But yeah, certainly I think the steps forward are to give us something actionable that we can share out, or maybe we can collaborate with some of the existing images and bits and pieces and make it happen. Certainly there's plenty of, as you see, there's a few scriptures and bits and pieces, plenty of talk of unity and togetherness and love and all the good feelings in faith circles, but when we need to sort of breach the subject of uniting with people in hardship and solidarity, certainly that fits nicely into a lot of these communities. So we'll see how it works.
So do you agree that it needs some achievables?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. People are just sitting there going, well, what should I do?
And there's some direction.
If there's something you can tick off and work through, then that's certainly where people go to make it happen.
Okay, so I think it probably needs a channel lead as well to drive it.
Yeah,
or maybe even
yeah.
like
So I
a
think we're
roast
trying to collar off Father Dave, but I'm sure we can find someone who's keen to move it forward.
Okay, so I will just screen share again. So then we have a stream team. So I think that the stream team basically has to get a green because our streams have been really good, and we have been getting increasing numbers of viewers, and we've been, you know, continuing to enhance them with like better graphics and better music and all kinds of stuff. And we've been expanding them to more and more platforms. So I'm pretty happy with Stream Team. I think that Eben can tell us more about what he thinks it needs. I'm sure like more volunteers would probably be good. But Eben and Joe, you guys take it away. Tell us about Stream Team. Oh, Eben's not with us, is he? Sorry, he's AFK, I think.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not sure if Eben's...
Yeah, I think we're just lacking... I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff in place, and we've got a good process, but I suppose it is spreading it around and easing the load. Obviously, we rely heavily on well-connected sort of stream PCs around the world, and it would be good to find some people who have good, stable internet connections and a reasonably powerful sort of computers that we can use. That's quite useful. Yeah, anything else, Ebon, from your perspective?
Yeah, you just said it right there. We just need more people. Trust is a big factor because, I mean, we're giving away our the Unity 4J stream keys. People who are capable or want to learn to be capable, because a lot of things happen live where you need to figure things out and fix things. But the more of us there are, the harder it is for any type of entity to take us down. Because if I'm out or if you're out, I mean, just two people, it's going to get difficult for other people who aren't tech savvy to start streaming. So getting more people out there who can understand it and participate just makes it a lot difficult for movements in these live streams to get shut down.
Cool. So we did have like more than you guys, right? Like we had Independent Outsider, and I think even David was helping with some streams before, but definitely the more the merrier. And you're not really going to find better people to train you in doing the stream stuff than people like Eben. So, I mean, he really knows pretty much everything there is to know about this stuff from my perspective. So please, if you're willing to be a part of Stream Team, jump on board and get some free training from him and help to support the streams. Mackenzie's saying that she can't see the interfaith channel. Mackenzie, to see it, you would either need to be a mod on the Discord server, or you would need to have the interfaith role. So this may be something that's a bit confusing to people. They see me mapping all of these teams and channels and stuff in the spreadsheet, but if they go to the Discord, they can't see them. So when you go to the Discord, it puts you into the introduce yourself channels, like by default. And then under that, you have the roles discuss channel. And under that, you have the roles channel. And the roles channel has a whole list of all these questions, and you click on the emoji, like the first question, are you skillful in tracking of hashtags, web and event analytics? If you are, you click the emoji and it will assign you the role to the analytics role and add you to the analytics team. And then you'll be able to see the analytics channel. So it does this for all of it. In fact, why am I not showing you guys this? Here we go. Let's have a look at it. So this is where you get assigned your roles, as in hash role channel. This is the list of roles. So there's like this many different roles with the movement. Like, wow, there's got to be like 30 or 40 of them there. And to get those roles, you answer these questions. So if you're good with analytics, you're going to click this emoji right here, and it's going to give you this analytics tag. And then you can see and use the analytics channel. Same for bloggers, design, Facebook, Gab, Google+, graphics, Instagram, legal, minds.com, music, podcasts, communications. It just goes on and on and on. Reddit, research, scribes. So you just go down the list and you just answer the questions, click on the emojis, and then you're able to access those channels, and you'll have that role, the roles, appropriate role to have the permissions to see and use those channels.
Yeah.
So one of them down here is like, are you religious or spiritual? And if so, that gives you the interfaith role. And then you can see the interfaith channel, which this actually it looks like this needs to be updated, Joe.
Yeah.
I think the channel is not. So actually, or maybe even I can't edit that actually.
Yeah,
so if you could make a note.
One thing to note, that you really only see this role channel until that final question. Have you answered all the questions above? And if you untick, create a thumb and then remove the thumb, it essentially removes the need a role, which is the one that can see this channel. So if you need a role, then you'll see this. But once you've already got it, it's probably best just to go to roles discuss or something like that. Otherwise, it's yeah.
And if all of that just confuses the hell out of you, then you can just simply ask for help. There is a help channel, and as Joe just said, there's the roles discuss channel. So you can go here to the roles discuss channel, and you can talk to people about what roles you want, and you can do like self assignments of the roles as well, like using the bot. Or you can go to the help channel here and just ask for help from people. And there's actually a role called helpful, and those are the people who help people out in these channels, help new people out, people who are new to the server. Okay, so back to our spreadsheet, which I can see like the light at the end of the tunnel on, because we've made quite good progress. So Stream Team needs more stuff. So then we have the podcast. So we looked yesterday at our SoundCloud account, but today we can look at our podcast account. So hold on 1 second, I'm just going to bring it up. Okay, so it's mixcloud.com/Unity4Julian. And if we go here, we can see that we have 50 podcasts uploaded so far. But we only have 17 followers. And those podcasts are complete interviews of guests that have been on the vigil streams. Joe, you can still hear me all right, can you?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Sorry, my mic graphic is not working. So you can see like John Kiriakou there, and Peter Lavelle, Helen Razor, H.A. Goodman, lots and lots of cool interviews there. So this is an amazing resource, because in terms of having like a radio station, like this is already 50 hours or very close to 50 hours of interview content that we could just basically queue up and have playing like on repeat. I really like the idea of having a Unity for J radio station actually. However, this is just a tiny fraction, maybe a third, of the total interviews that we've produced. So it's amazing. It looks beautiful. It's got a lot of content. It'll be very, very useful for us. And Commander X has been doing a great job of it, but it needs to be updated with the rest of our vigil content. So I'm giving that a yellow as well. Basically, anything that needs to be updated is getting a yellow. Anything that's current and functioning fine is getting green. Anything that needs to be updated is getting yellow. Anything that is stalled and needs a really big look at is getting orange, and doesn't exist is getting red. That's my basic key for the color codes. Okay, scribes. Now, I wanted to, somewhere here, I have, right, here we go. I've got a message from Fleur, who's the head of the scribes team. So this is what she wanted to tell us about scribes. Now, scribes channel is, or scribes team are in charge of transcribing all of our mountains of vigil and interview content into text. And then it's on web team to integrate, and also our video team to link to those transcripts on our YouTube channel and on our website, so that those people who, especially researchers, journalists, etc., who don't want to sit there and watch, 50 hours of stream, but they do want to be able to type in keywords and jump, back and forth through the text. It's pretty important for them to have. It's a really good resource for them to have. It's also literally a historical record of the movement. So it's really important for that factor as well. So Fleur has written, scribes have been trusted to accurately record the important words and events of the history of this movement since the beginning. Oh, no, sorry. Scribes have been trusted to accurately record the important words and events of history since the beginning of recorded time. That's where most of our history came from. Our channel is following in that proud tradition today, transcribing all the vigil videos for those who want or need to enjoy them in text. This will be an invaluable resource for researchers and writers, as well as those in low-tech environments, e.g. people will be able to download and print them and share them around. We have over 100 one-hour vigil videos in various stages of transcription, plus a number of important non-vigil videos. Each transcription takes up to 12 to 15 hours to edit, check, and hyperlink. We desperately need more skilled, accurate, and self-motivated scribes to join our hardworking team and to help with this important and intense work. You don't have to be a fast typist because we don't type from audio. You just have to be a skilled wordsmith and a good researcher to check names, places, etc. as they're discussed. You can choose your own tasks and work at your own pace. We use a guided work process to ensure all our transcripts take the same form so that eventually these transcripts can be used to create a searchable database. There is a lot of online support for our scribes, and we really appreciate every bit of assistance we get. Please join our scribes team on Discord. The more good wordsmiths we have, the faster we can make progress on our never-ending task of building the Unity4J video transcript library. Now, I happen to know for a fact that they have already completed mountains of transcriptions. So I am going to give scribes a green because they are active and they're doing and producing large quantities of incredible work. My key concern is that to date, despite them having produced mountains of transcripts, I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, David S., I don't believe that any of those transcripts are currently linked either in the YouTube video descriptions or on the website. Is that correct? You're muted,
Yeah, I
David.
think that's correct. I don't think it's up yet.
I've just unmuted you, David.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, so there's a lot of catch up to do in terms of putting those transcripts next to the videos and also adding them back as accurate subtitles.
Right, because you're using the transcripts for subtitling. Okay. So if I'm putting approved transcripts must be utilized both in video descriptions / captioning and on our website ASAP, because I don't want their work to go to waste. I mean, they've done so much work. I really, really want to make sure that we tie up this. Like, for me, that's a huge loose end that needs to be tied up. And in the meantime, I don't have them on hand. One day when Fleur is here, we'll have a look at them. But the Scribe team works in collaborative documents, and they actually have their whole own like custom task management process that they've developed for understanding who's working on what transcription and how long, how far they are through it, and they're like checking for accuracy and all kinds of stuff. And so Fleur would be able to give us a really detailed like drill down into exactly which videos they've produced transcripts for, and which that they haven't yet but need to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I really want to respect the amount of work that's been done by that team and make sure that it comes out on, is exposed in the front end, as we would say, like in terms of both the website and the YouTube channel.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
So there's also the aspect of translations once we've got good transcripts. And if those translations could be made into subtitles, that would increase the accessibility of our videos a lot.
Yeah. You mean in terms of like audio impairment?
No, for people who don't speak English, who would like to watch the videos.
Okay. Oh, for the translations, you mean,
yes.
of the transcriptions. Is Bjorn with us tonight? Joe, can you explain the work that Bjorn's been doing around translation on the website?
Yeah, so what we've done is set up a framework in behind there, so we can essentially load in translations of the content, but also quotes and the other sort of artifacts, other bits of content. So what he was saying yesterday, it uses a tool called PoEdit, P-O-Edit, which is just a simple tool that you take a phrase and you change it into your language. So that's something we can set the translations team onto, but we can also take a lot of the existing translations and paste them in. So we've built the framework there, and we just need to start loading in those translations and making them show on the site. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
I find that just to be remarkable, quite frankly. Christian's with us, and Christian's one of the people managing the translations team. Christian, are you here? I'll just unmute you. Okay, for some reason I can't unmute Christian. Okay, he says can't speak at the moment. Okay, no problems. Christian, that's all right. I'll talk to you about it once we get onto the translation stuff later on in the stream. Because there's a whole like different subset of stuff that we're going to cover off with that. And I'll remember to talk to you both about translating translations for captioning and for transcriptions on YouTube, and also translations for the website. Okay, so I'll share screen and we'll keep going. Now, web team. I deliberately put web team at the bottom of the tech team because I know that web team actually breaks down into a whole bunch of other functions. And I'd like Joe to have the opportunity to talk through each of those. So it's basically this right here. So we have web UX and design. Front end is the automated or the tracking of the pushes through. So we talked about GitLab last night. We don't really need to go into this again. But from a personnel perspective, Joe.
Yeah. So the main sort of groups we have within that are some of the sort of tech breakdowns and things. So there's the web team, which was our original thing, and a lot of people sort of specialize within the web. You can be a designer, you might work on infrastructure and back end stuff, you might work on networking, security, general tech, some of the integration stuff with bots, and as well as usability. There's a whole bunch of disciplines under there, and we haven't sort of expanded too much. I think there's been a few people popping up here and there that have expressed skills, but once again, this is probably my my lack of organising myself. I just let people run, and no one does anything if you don't tell them what to do. One thing I'd love to start to build and sort of take a bit further is the design capabilities, not necessarily for graphics and things, but for our web sort of design, and make sure that it does not only sort of look good but look sharp and modern as well. Because often us sort of developer-y people don't really care what it looks like. We know what looks bad, but so some of that usability and design I'm keen on expanding, and I think we certainly have a design role, and I don't know if we've got a UX role, but we've certainly got if you're into that sort of making good things or making things good, then say hi. Certainly if you're part of the web team, you'll possibly be aware of it all. Web front end and back end are sort of slight distinctions there, but a lot of this stuff crosses over. So Bjorn is putting together some back end sort of structures and frameworks, but he's also doing a lot of the front end design and development and putting content in. In networking, that was just essentially segregating there's the people that were interested more in the sort of technical aspects of how we make things connect to each other, and certainly some of the structure and security behind the website is in there. We also had a security team, so if you've got a security focus and can review our code, review our processes and systems, then certainly pop up there. If you're just generally into all things tech and understand bits and pieces, then there's a place for you to hang out there too. The bots channel there is for our bot herders who run some of the reaction role bot, the restream bot, the trusty bot, and a few others which live in our channels, making things happen. And also there's an audio chat there. We've only had a few late night chats with people, but certainly, hey, back here, certainly there is audio capabilities. Discord's great like that, right? Audio works. There is also a few audio channels further up for just general voice chat, but we haven't focused too much on that. A lot gets lost if you carry on coordination in voice and don't actually write down what was said. So that's just an overview of our web development and operations segment of the things. Of it, I think our security, there's some really bright security people in there. So I'd say that's tracking along, but we haven't really done much recently. Our bots are awesome. And they probably do need some love. For example, the interfaith thing earlier where the channel ID is different now. Tech probably haven't seen much activity. And networking, likewise, it's been a while since we got DDoSed or anything like that. So we'll jump into gear should the need arise. But certainly within the web team, there's those sort of breakdowns of different areas. And certainly if you're into one of those areas, then jump in the channel, assign yourself to the web team and jump into one of those channels and say hi. There are a bunch of pinned tasks in some of these channels of our vision and things working forward. So do always check the pins, and if there's something you can do, just get into it and do it and say, hey, I'm working on this, and there's bound to be a few people that'll follow along and help you. So hopefully that's a reasonable overview.
It is. Now what I want to do is assess where we're at with those and what the needs for them are and like what the growth areas are. So the bots channel I'm extremely happy with because they are highly responsive, and I don't mean the bots are highly responsive, but the people who are programming the bots are highly responsive. Like whenever I come up with something I want the bots to do and I go and post in the bots channel and ask for it to be done, it gets done pronto, and generally speaking it works really, really well. And has been the bots have been great innovation, I think, for our server. So I'm very, very happy with them.
Yep.
Now, security. Other than being HTTPS by default, we really don't have any. I mean, what are our needs on that front, Joe? What should we be?
A lot of our initial concerns were around some of the tools we were using, and because we came together so hastily, we just jammed things together and hadn't really focused much on security. And once you're running a movement and dealing with the personal information of a lot of people in this, then there's that aspect of security that you want to maintain the privacy of people that don't necessarily want to do it. And so some of the efforts there have been things like the interfaith channel disappeared from most people's view because it was locked down to the participants, and initially we had most of our channels were public on the server, so there was a bit of talking there. We did talk quite a bit about how to better structure our site to ensure that we couldn't be taken down, and there were some attacks earlier in the movement. I mean, our website is not the be-all and end-all. We know we're spread wide around the internet in various sites, so if you can't get to one, then just do a Google search for Unity4J and find the most recent content that you can access. But certainly the security team's there to make it happen. So I would probably give that something orangish. We haven't really done a lot recently, but there's a bunch of keen people in there that are bound to do it, and there is a role particularly for that. So if you live and breathe security, like Cyber Official and Riggs and some of the people, then do yell out.
So what I saw is that we have a lot of talent for it. We've had a lot of people say, hey, I do this for a living, I'm willing to help. But I think that where we've fallen down is the tasking. So we haven't actually been like, great, thanks, now here's something we want you to work on. So I think that I agree it needs to be orange because it's not active. But I think what we need to do to improve it is to actually work out what we want them to do, like isolate tasks and priorities, or identify is a better word, identify tasks and priorities and assign them. Probably the same thing. I don't know, what about networking? I mean, networking is really your forte, Joe. I think if there's anything that needs to be done on that front,
people and machines, if I can get
you.
stuff together, I'm usually there. Yeah, that's the thing. What else? Networking. Yeah, so we haven't really implemented any of the changes, and to some degree, we're waiting on. So we do have a list of things to do there. We're sort of waiting on what the new site would end up, or whether it would move hosts or move around. And I suppose it was needs as well. We did make a few changes back when we were having issues with stuff going down and reliability. So yeah, we don't have a lot on that space, but certainly actually. In networking, I would like to start to see us grow our roots out and network with other organisations and like-minded things. A lot of that sort of fits into the social media sphere, but ensuring that we have some brother and sister organisations that we can cross-pollinate with, being bees. Yeah,
I see there's people in the networking channel offering resources.
Yeah, and so lots of people do have resources and things, and so yeah, it's just a matter of I'm a little bit loath to say, oh yes, let's grab this thing and use this for our infrastructure, because without sort of thinking things through initially, we can end up spread around the web and no one really holds the keys and bits and pieces. So it is good to maintain a strategy, and so we've been sort of adding a new tool and sort of making it work for slowly. So there's probably a few things we can do there.
Okay, I'm just going to put the same thing there that I did for security, which is that we need to identify our tasks and priorities and assign them.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true for most of this area. So I'm changing web team actually to the website as it currently exists. Let me just share screen so you can see what I'm doing here. So the website, I'm going to give a yellow because it exists and it has content, and we certainly use it for for updating like our stream links and whatnot, our streams and stuff. But there is so much more that can be done with it. Now, there is so much underway in terms of everything Bjorn talked with us about last night, and we're definitely on the right path. But I'm just literally going to put here like continue development until it is sexy, clean, and kick ass.
Yep.
Because for the amount of talent that we have, we should definitely have a way better website. And I think we've discussed, plenty previously about what we want our website to be able to do. I mean, we want it to have downloadable content. We want it to have full video and graphic libraries.
Once we get a lot of these foundation sort of frameworks and things in place, we will open up a lot of the road to run. For example, translations. Once that's in place, and also things like the gallery and bits and pieces. Once we've got the structure where we can display a bunch of videos, then we can start to load in content and make it look sexy, clean, and kick ass. And that does fall nicely segued into the next one.
Yeah, of course, UX design. If anything, it should really go above. But I just want to say, I see the same thing happening with the website that I see happening with scribes. So scribes have done a mountain of amazing work, but it hasn't actually been utilized yet. And when I was going through the push history of the GitLab, I can see that people have built stuff in the back end of the website, but that functionality hasn't been exposed in the front end yet. So we need to get the graphics and video team people working in concert with the website people. And we need to get the website people working in concert with the scribes and with the translation teams. We need to marry up the teams that need to work together to complete the workflows so that all the work that has been done, that we're actually realizing the benefit of it.
Totally. And there are people that sort of sit across two roles. There are scribe web team people, and there are graphics web team people, and there are people that do both. And Bjorn's a good example that he sits across a number of teams because that's where his skills lie. So it's a matter of giving people the ability to coordinate that work between the teams as well. And I think from a technical perspective, Discord, I think we do welcome web team. Graphics people can talk in web team and vice versa. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So UX and design, I'm going to give same as well. The yellow because it's happening, but it isn't there yet.
Yeah, so we did some good work initially sorting out sort of colours and fonts and bits and pieces, but we do need to marry that together into and make sure that anything we do bring out adheres to those branding guidelines and things we put together. So yeah, and then once the basics are in, it's the right colour, then you can say, oh, I actually want curvy edges over there, and that's sort of that, and I want the button to glow or not glow or whatever it is. So a lot of that will be those final touches to make it awesome.
Okay, and then in terms of usability, I know that very recently a group was set up and they've been discussing different ways that they can enhance the usability of the website. Not just to the website, also the Discord, basically of any of our systems that are public facing. And what we need to do now is take those ideas that they're coming up with and develop them into an actual strategy. And then have them work with UX design, web team people to employ those ideas and actual build and deliver.
If there is a group gathering, can they put some of the output of their discussions in the web UX channel? I know people love their direct message groups, but it's good to
we have
good
so
to leave
many
a record
of those
of stuff.
That's true. We really do have so many of those.
If someone can put some key points for the rest of the movement to digest, that would be good. And if you can't see the web UX channel, then certainly yell out. In theory, if you're on graphics, web team, and design, you can see it.
Okay, so Bagheera is the one who is in charge of that usability group, or who is coordinating that usability group. Bagheera is online.
He's even in voice, yes.
Really?
Oh, he was before, yeah.
Oh, in voice on the server?
On Discord.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to let him or her know. Please, can you move the usability group to the... You want it in UX, did you say?
Well, if there's a direct message group, then certainly I can count. No, I can't count. There's at least 9, 10, 12, 13 odd people that, or more, that can fit into that. And I know your DM group's only about 10, so yeah.
Into web UX, you want them?
Yeah. I mean, there was a request that it be created, so it got created, but I don't think anyone migrated.
Cool. Okay, I've just let them know to do that so that you guys can work there and get some good progress happening. So, usability, integrate with UX, UI, what was the channel called? UX something?
Web UX, yeah.
Web UX, okay.
X for interface, yeah, you know, experience.
Work with web team directly, okay, and bots is cool. Right, so I think that is all the tech stuff done. So now, I'm not going to bother doing like news team, because news team is just running totally smoothly. It's not a team.
One thing to mention while you're talking about news, have you been to news.unity4j.com recently?
And that will take us to the Gazette, right?
Because there is an awesome Gazette newspaper that's certainly tries to pull things together on a reasonable basis.
Yeah, it's actually pretty well developed, to be honest with you. Has the up-to-date banners and everything for the next action day, has really up-to-date news about WikiLeaks and about the movement. It's actually, I agree, this is a massive asset for us.
So yeah, that they've done well there, and certainly that was easy to integrate into the website or into our web space. And
this is very much what I'm hoping that we can do with like the podcast channel and the SoundCloud channel and all these things.
And so make sure it's actually linked from the main site and people are aware that it exists. So yeah, you may have seen tweets that link back to this, but certainly if you're not on Twitter, visiting our website and being able to click on news or whatever it is, events, and getting the latest information. is awesome.
So, Joe, can you give us podcast.unityforj.com and then have it link, like, go to our Mixcloud account? And
easy to do. Much
and
like
music
/Discord and /stream.
Music.unityforj. In fact, let's just make some notes because that's something I'd really like you to do in the short term. Because we've already got down here that the website needs to link to all the socials get all the graphics up. Music.unityforj.com to the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Podcasts.unityforj.com to the Mixcloud. What else? Think of some other ones that should be in there too.
Yeah, those.
Reddit.unityforj.com.
Oh yeah, well we could make it easy. Yeah, there's probably a few like that. If we make it that easy, then people will just jump on. Yeah,
I think that'll be super cool. Now, do you want to just have a chat with people? I actually still don't have the Restream link, but I'm going to have to plug my computer in or it's going to go flat because I have 6% battery. So do you want to just have a chat with people in the stream chats, touch base with them?
I can. Hello, dearest people in the Restream chat.
I'm typing in my YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if it's copying over.
Yeah, it said something's went wrong, so it probably just needs a restart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I couldn't see anything in the link. Okay, I will be right back in 3 minutes. Have fun intermingling. Any of you guys who are on panel, if you have something you want to say, now would be a great time. But nothing too important because I'll be AFK for 3 minutes.
Oh, good. Who else is out there? David, Bruce, Christian, Mackenzie.
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Yeah. How's your Wiki-bees session going?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I'm sitting here. I have a nice tea, so
nice.
Enjoying listening to you guys talk about things that I do not understand.
That's all good. We'll try and bring it back around into understandable things. Everything you want to say is important, Bruce. Cool.
Do we have any growth areas for the Unity4J Gazette? I think our social media accounts should
self-promotion
link to specific items, not just the publication in general, because there is so much content in there. Okay, so I think that this might be everything except for translations team. Let me have a quick look. I don't think we're missing anything. So there's media corrections and media coordinating. Media coordinating is one that actually we need a lot of help with. Is it under news team as well? Yeah, it is. Okay, so maybe we should do news team. So urgent news works really good. I'm happy with that. It's basically people see something that's really serious and they go that relates to Julian or the campaign and they dump it in there really quick. I think that actually that goes for urgent, recent, and background. I'm just going to put them all in one line because they're all working fine. I don't think they need any more help. I mean, the more the merrier, but I don't see any problems with those channels. Live is people who have access to the Ecuadorian embassy, and that's one that we need to develop, which hasn't been developed yet. Ecuadorian or embassy. So that one gets a big fat red. Identify people able to report live from the embassy. And get them to coordinate efforts. And then we have media corrections. This is actually one of our best channels because Bella has pretty much got it sussed from what I've seen. So this is coordinated responses to smears about Julian and WikiLeaks, of which there is no shortage. Now, something we could do in terms of how this process could be strengthened is what is the David Brock, like Hillary Clinton DNC outfit that I can see their like manifesto in my head, but I've forgotten what they're called. You guys will know. It's not correct the record. It's like something like that though, where they like literally have people like mass mail through a web portal like complaints to editors if they don't like what's in the newspapers, etc., etc. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure that viewers will definitely know what I'm talking about.
Are you sure it's not correct the record?
Is that the David Brock one? It's the David Brock Hillary Clinton one. Share, or no, not Share Blue. It's something like that. But they basically have like a newsletter list or whatever of hundreds or thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. And then if there's something about Hillary Clinton that they don't like, they all like get together and write en masse through a web portal, like just hound the editors of the papers to get corrections or to get, have impact on the coverage. I feel like we need something like that for Julian because it's just so tragic, like that WikiLeaks just gets smeared so badly on a daily basis and there is no real pushback. I mean, we do our best as like, a handful of people or whatever, but we should use, I think, the full strength of the movement to get some accountability, particularly over like the outright libel. Like just today, WikiLeaks was pointing out that AP was outright libeling Julian multiple times in an article. So I feel like we should be mass mailing like the AP editors and trying to hold them to account.
Totally. We do need to make our voice heard.
That restroom link doesn't seem to be functioning for me at all.
Yeah, it's giving me errors as well. I'll just try and figure out what's wrong. But yeah, all good. I'll try it again.
Okay, and media coordinating, I'm going to give like a really bright red orange because it was a channel that was really promising, but which nothing ever really happened with in the direction that it should have, which is that this is where we should be coordinating the journalists and bloggers and their collective relationships with media to get awesome coverage where there is currently an absence of coverage. So it needs, I think there was, I can think of a person who was going to run it, and it might just be a matter of touching base with them and planning, but we have a large number of established journalists who are in support of this movement. But there has been little to no coordination around publishing and promotion and marketing on that side of it. So I feel like that's something we need to. It's just like same thing here. Identify tasks and priorities and assign them is what needs to happen in that team. Okay, so Christian, are you ready for us to move on to translations? Because I think that's the last aspect.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we've covered events. That's the only other thing. Actions and events and translations. Right. Okay, so could you please talk us through every aspect of the translations team, like what it does, how it functions, what's working, what's not working, what needs to be different, and shout out anyone who's been particularly amazing, like I know Millen and Mehdi and people like that have been.
Well, basically, we're tasked with any and all translations, whether it be graphics, press releases, things for the website, as Joe was alluding to earlier, and as Bjorn was talking to us late last night about. We have several different sections, all different languages. I believe we have close to, let me just look at it quickly. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 24 different languages, and then we also have, corresponding to most of those languages, we have some Twitter accounts as well. In terms of what is not working, there's some sections that are a little inactive, less inactive than others. For example, you request something to be translated, and it takes a bit of a while to get a response. But that just could be. You could just say that. I mean, just the low amount of people that do speak that language, like for example, Bisaya, and like let's say Korean, where we have maybe just 1 or 2 people that are fluent in the language and can translate it. Let's see what else. I think, as I'm just looking through some of this stuff now.
I'll just say quickly, sorry to interject, but I can see the Restream chat is finally working. So hi, Jake. I think you guys are pretty perfect as well. Kat, I totally agree, Kat, that we need to be responsive to comments as well as to articles, videos, and websites.
Yeah.
And Mary Ann Jones is asking if emailing updates to website subscribers, if that's something that's being considered. Yes, absolutely. And I think Mackenzie from our comms team would really appreciate some help with that. She's also suggesting that we could send petitions to sign. We are intending to have an action area of our website up where people can like click through our website to sign petitions, etc. Absolutely. We have like actually Joe can tell us a bit more about the current status of us collecting email addresses from people on our website and then emailing out to them. But I think that we really need more help. It's a crossover between comms team and the outreach team, and we definitely need more hands on deck there. So Marianne Jones, if you wanted to make friends with Mackenzie Rose and come and help with that, that would be amazing, because we don't want to waste like the wonderful human resources that we have in terms of the supporters of the movement.
Yeah, so we've probably got 130 or so people that have organically signed up for a newsletter, and I think we've seen a couple of emails out that way. It would be good to have feedback if that's working. We have also added in the capability to sort of segment the groups, so we're not just telling you about something you already know, and we'll try and develop that a bit further. So it does come back to that sort of CRM idea. Knowing more about the people that are subscribing to our content and what they want from it. But yeah, there's certainly some of the tools are there, and we just need to dig into them and start using them. And sorry, back to Christian, right?
What I see is that sorry, Christian, to hijack this little part for a second, but what I see is that we have competent people drafting communications, we have competent people proofreading communications, we have competent people providing us the technical ability to issue those communications. What we need is someone to actually action them. So if you are that person that would be happy to sit there and make sure that this stuff is done, you would be very, very welcome on the team. And go for it, Christian. Take us back to translations, please.
Yeah, I think another thing just in terms of what has not gone well or what needs to be improved upon. I'll readily admit that I have not been overseeing the translations as much as I would like to, given all the stuff that I am doing with your boots on the ground, your feet in the streets recently. However, there have been, moving on to some good things, people like Bagheera, Lando Free, Mulan, who have really taken the initiative and have done a lot of work and have been covering my ass, to put it very bluntly. I see a lot of great work being done by the Uni4J French account on Twitter and the German account. Again, those two, Lando, Mulan, and you have Bagheera as well in there. I just think that maybe just dividing the workload a little more, maybe just having some more overseers, some more captains perhaps within each language. I was trying to do that before, but I don't know if I ever got around to it or if it just fell apart. There were a few people in some of the other languages that I'm trying to remember now. But anyway, I think in terms of what else we need, I think it's just a better integration between the comms team and the graphics team, and what a clearer set of what can we do, what could we do, so that it's clear and that there is perhaps maybe less need for somebody to direct a team, where you can just automatically find, say, an approved graphic that can be translated, and then, just like what we were speaking about before, integrating.
We call it digital asset management.
Digital asset management, yes.
Yeah, that's the term for it, exactly. So that we have like a central repository where all the approved stuff is, and then absolutely, and it comes down to the tasking as well. We need to, people need to be able to see, oh, there's like 15 new images and 6 of them have been translated into German, so therefore I need to translate some of these other ones into German, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, exactly.
And with approvals phasing as well, staging, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
with the change to the website, what we're working on is trying to, not need the graphics people to have to understand translations and vice versa. So we can create one sort of template image, and the translation can be done, and the website will just stitch the two together and generate as many different kind of images with those memes as needed. So it's going to be fairly cool to enable some of that. So it's not as hard to try and figure out if the translation's been done for that image, because the translation's been done and it can be attached to the image. And we can start to marry that data together, so we don't have to worry so much about the nitty gritty of it and opening up Paint and twinking out that little bit. So that should be a bit easier.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's going to be a great help to that process and expediting it and having it be a little more seamless. So I think that's it, unless you, Susie, or Joe want to add anything to that you observe about translations, or that you would want from translations, anything generally or specifically.
What I would like probably is to, and maybe you do this separately because I think it'll take up too much stream time for the number of languages that we have, but if you could create a little spreadsheet for me that is like this, but I can even give you this one as a template, but that you just list all of the languages here, like put a list of all the different languages. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. Okay, here we go. So if you could use the spreadsheet as a template, but rather than area, you'll have language, and you just list all the languages underneath it for the different language channels under the translation team in Discord. And then instead of team, you can have Twitter account and list all the Twitter account for each language, right? And then go and have a look at those Twitter accounts and just assess, are they current? How have they built a following, or do they need help getting followers? Do they need to update more frequently? And then give them a status, like green, they're current and everything's fine with them. Yellow, they have been established and did have some content but need to be updated. Orange, they're pretty much empty and not really being used. Or red, they don't exist at all. And if we could just have that so that we know exactly which ones we need to develop better and which ones are working just fine by themselves, that would be really helpful undertaking.
Yeah, if you want to send me the template for that spreadsheet, or if not, I could just do it on myself, whatever.
Cool. So I'm just going to make a PDF of this right now. And XLS as well. I assume you use Windows, not Mac, right, Christian? Oh, you're on a phone, aren't you? It's even worse.
What was that?
Okay, so I'm just going to upload these to the Wiki-bees channel now because these are actually complete. It is complete. Amazing.
I do have a Mac. I'm a Mac user, yeah, but
oh, do you? Because I'll stick a numbers one in there as well then. Okay, here's the Excel list.
If you want, you can dump them in my iCloud and share them around if you need.
Right.
To edit collaboratively.
Okay. Yes, if you just want to message me that, Susie, and I'll get to it.
If you look in the hash Wiki-bees channel, I'm putting an Excel, a PDF, and the original numbers, which is what you'll want for your Mac.
Okay.
Okay, so congratulations, guys. We are halfway through the second stream and we have mapped all of the moving parts of the movement. So now we have a really good idea, pretty comprehensive idea. Oh, I'm sorry, the only thing I didn't cover off yet is actions and event team. events team and translations. So I'm actually just going to put here to be advised and to be advised, because there is more work to be done on both of those. But other than that, we've done well. We've done really well. So now what we're going to do, our next step, is that we're going to take all of these ideas and everything that we've had and these things that we've identified that need to happen, and we're going to start making task lists. Now, I was kind of hoping that Kitty was going to be here for that, because I know she was going to set up the pirate pads for us. So maybe it will be that the next session, tomorrow, we will begin interacting with everybody and working on actual tasks in collaborative documents online. And that will be when the Wiki-bees really kicks into the next gear, because we will start actually completing tasks for the movement. But right now I'm very, very pleased. And hi Fly and Elizabeth and other people who've just shown up. Right now I'm very, very pleased, because I feel like we now have like quite a good grip on exactly where we're at and where everything stands. Thoughts, you guys?
That's not Fly, it's Liz.
Okay, well, we might actually be able to call it early tonight and actually get some sleep, and then start fresh tomorrow on the pirate pads with doing the actual tasking. Mackenzie, Joe, David, Christian, Bruce, any of you guys want to say anything? Now would be the time.
Keep on buzzing.
I'd just like to add, I think it is really incredible what we've accomplished at this point. You know, we haven't been going that long, and to see just, you know, the vast amount of content that we're putting out and the quality of the content that we're putting out it's remarkable, honestly.
Yeah, it's awesome. Bruce gave us a big thumbs up in the chat.
I agree with you, Mackenzie, and also I'll like make a little bit of an admission here. I'm totally like a self-flagellator. Like I'm totally like haven't done enough, need to do more, you know, like I'm constantly telling myself this, like, and I find it really easy to feel like I'm not doing anything, even though I'm constantly doing stuff. I feel like you know, better, faster, stronger, higher, like I really push myself. And it's when I get to stop and see, especially like this, like in this visual format, see like the sheer amount of work that's been done and how much progress has been made, then I'm kind of like, oh, actually you know, we've done exactly like you just said, like we've done a lot, and it's really good quality work, and we have a pathway forward, and I can, you know, maybe I get to pat myself on the back for a moment. And I don't even mean publicly, but just myself, for my own conscience, my own peace of mind, to actually feel like, okay, we're on the right track. You know, we're doing well.
We're lucky to have you, Susie.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Dude, we're lucky to have you. Look who's in Washington Square Park giving speeches, man. You're amazing.
Say that again.
That was awesome to see.
Christian, I fell asleep watching those speeches last night.
Oh, no worries.
No, not that you put me to sleep, but by the time I finished with the stream, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I mean, I feel like it's like what you said, Susie. Like you feel like it's still not enough. You want to do more and more. We're supposed to go up until 8 at night. Everybody had left, and I was still there, chalking up the sidewalk and sides of buildings and whatnot. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. And hopefully, we get to see more action like that in elsewhere around the U.S., Canada, UK, New Zealand, everywhere, Australia.
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest, David, but thank you.
So cool. You guys are so good to each other. I still remember like it was yesterday, Fly sitting here like at the beginning, like when we started the movement, which was what, like Mackenzie's right, it was only like July, like that we so it was like 2 months ago that we started the Discord. 2 months, that's it. And like 4 months, since I think May was the first major Unity for J vigil. Like we did the March Reconnect Julian, but May was the first one. So like September, I guess we've done 5 months of vigils, 2 months of Discord organizing. And I remember Fly saying at the beginning, like, this is a family. He's like, this is a family. This is love. This is solidarity. This is righteousness and righteous commitment. I remember him giving us this pep talk. And you guys you've really fulfilled that in a big way. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to be a part of.
For sure. It's like we were saying yesterday, Susie, going through the chat and not one word of negativity. Everyone's positive, everyone's passionate.
So I just did a rough count, and we've mapped 33 areas, and 17 of them are green. So over 50% of the movement is already running. Are you laughing at my geekiness, Joe?
No, I was thinking, you could just use a formula to calculate that.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm like too lazy. I promise I'm not actually laying in bed right now either. 4, 6, 7.
I think everyone's getting good time. It's mid-afternoon for me here. It's a Friday for me, so end of the week. Just go on holiday.
Okay, so
go to the beach.
17 are flawless. 7 need updating. God, it would help if I didn't have all kinds of food stuck on my keyboard. Right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 need serious work. And was it like 2? 1 actually doesn't exist, and it's a live team. Needs to be established. So I'm really happy that I would consider like that to be a pretty healthy movement after 2 months of existence. Very, very, very good. So what's going to happen now is if you guys have any questions for us, please go ahead and ask, because we'll be on for probably only 5 or 10 minutes more. And I'm going to chat with Kitty Hundle, and I'm going to get pirate pads and ether pads set up ready for tomorrow night's Wiki-bees stream. And tomorrow night we're going to start creating task lists, and our audience is going to be able to start like putting their hand up and then working on those tasks during the Wiki-bees session. And then that's going to be super exciting, because we're going to start seeing stuff happen and evolve in real time during these streams. In the meantime, I would ask that you guys please promote the hell out of tomorrow night's stream, like as soon as the stream ends, rather than promoting the stream that we've just done. Promote tomorrow night so that everybody knows. Be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, because that is when Wiki-bees is going to start for real. We know where we're at now and what we have to do, and this is the beginning of a beautiful thing. Are you with me?
Yep.
Oh, that's
You're not
so
against
sweet.
you.
Black Cats Matter. Just wanted to thank everyone for another great meeting tonight. Thank you guys. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And I'd like to acknowledge what Mackenzie just said. The only negativity that has come at Unity for J has come from outside of the movement. Our core organizing team are just the most exceptional human beings, and so many people that, I mean, I didn't know Mackenzie. I'd never worked with Mackenzie. She came out of nowhere and has been just the most amazing contributor to this movement. And she's representative of so many other people like that as well. People have come seemingly out of thin air and just done the most incredible work. And you guys have made this happen. Like, I can't, for people give me credit or whatever, but I couldn't make those 17 things green on that spreadsheet. I might be able to make the spreadsheet, but I sure as hell couldn't have done all that work by myself. So thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank you, Susie. You're too kind, But I know I speak for all of us when I say we do appreciate, everything you do, all the organization, all of that.
Well, I see myself very much as my efforts being interdependent upon the efforts of everybody else. And I'm just really lucky that I've got lots of really cool friends, amazing people. There's a lot of people in this movement who I've worked with year in and year out. And that's it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you. Okay, I don't think we have any questions. We've just got lots of people saying nice things to each other because our movement's so awesome and supportive and positive. And I just wanted to note, after 2 solid weeks of just getting the absolute shit kicked out of me online, I just insane smear after insane smear after insane smear. As soon as we did that stream yesterday, and everybody could see the cohesiveness of the movement and the strength of the movement and the achievements of the movement in a really visible way, literally all of that just stopped. I haven't even had one nasty message or anything. I think it's really shut up the haters for a while, because we're able to demonstrate to people the effectiveness of this movement and the purity of this movement, the purity of the cause.
When you're working together, the shit doesn't stick to you.
For sure. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Patty says no questions, just praise. That's it. It's wonderful to be surrounded by people who have that good energy, and who are so generous in spirit. It's a really, really wonderful thing. It's a blessing. Okay, so this is my request to you guys, is that we promote the hell out of tomorrow night's stream, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday night. Oh my God, it's already Friday here. Friday night, 28th of September. Please tell everybody to be here, because this is where we're going to start really, truly collaborating online in real time to advance the movement, now that we know where we're at. So thank you so much for your patience and for being here through all of this. And we will see you in 22 hours. Night, night, everyone.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
In prison, under house arrest.
Thank you, guys.
They see it every day. The people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, the people in Baghdad, the people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, the people in Baghdad, the people in Iraq, in Afghanistan.
We simply say,
Prison, under house arrest, and almost 5 years here in this embassy without sunlight. My children grew up without them. That is not something that I can forgive. It is not something that I can forget. It's something that I hope will be more than just about me. Because the reality is,